Hello and welcome to the Hauntline, the show dedicated to SoCal haunts and events. And welcome to our brand new show that we're calling Haunt Top 5. Today's topic is Knott's Scary Farm, and we're going to be listing off our top 5 mazes from Knott's Scary Farm. And here to give us their list and help us with today's episode is the man behind the Nights of Horror, one of 3. There's now 3 Nights of Horror. The homie, Anthony. Anthony, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on, man. It's been a long time coming, but let's do this, man. I'm ready.
Yeah,
man.
dude. Oh, dude, I'm always excited to talk haunts, man. So this is perfect. The meeting of two worlds because you are a huge Knott's Scary Farm fan as well.
Yes, I am.
So I'm very excited to get into today's topic. Before we get into that, I just want to know how long has it been? How long have you been going to?
So
Knott's Scary?
the first year I ever went was 2008.
Nice.
That was the very first year. I think I was like in the 5th grade, and I only lasted like 2 hours, and then freaking bounced. And then I redeemed myself. I redeemed myself in 2011 at another haunt, HHN. And then from there, I just became hooked on haunts. So then 2012, I went back to Knott's Scary Farm. And then I would go off and on a couple of times throughout the years. I think I did 2012, 2015, I believe, or 2015. And then I did 2015 all the way to 2019. And I love it. It's a fun event. I mean, we've gotten to know a lot of people this past year alone. The scare zones are iconic. It's like the haunt that started it all. So getting to know the history more, learning about it, especially with what we do as far as our channels go. It's kind of like our job to know the history and stuff,
right.
You know. So it's fun to learn that kind of stuff, and it's fun to really dive in deep into the backstories of not only the lore and stuff of each story, but each of these characters, the mazes and stuff. So, I mean, I think last year alone, me and Sammy had just a freaking phenomenal time. So I can't wait to do it again. Hopefully this year.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, I'm keeping my fingers crossed every single day that we get a haunt season this year. But yeah. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Definitely.
Nice, dude. Well, yeah, that was going to be my second question, but you touched on it a little bit. Is just what you like about Knott's Scary Farm. In fact, I'll ask you in a different way. What do you think makes Knott's Scary Farm stand out from the rest of the haunts here in SoCal? Because we're blessed down here. We've got a lot to choose from. But what makes Knott's different?
I think there's 2 things that come in mind, or actually 3. The first being, of course, for it being the first haunt to really start up and really do this kind of whole thing is an amazing thing to kind of witness and walk in history. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you walk through ghost town streets and stuff, and you're just, it's just history. That's all it is right there.
Oh yeah.
The second thing would be actually ghost town streets, and tying with ghost town streets, I'm gonna say as well, sliders. Sliding really began kind of at this event, you know what I mean? And this is the birthplace of sliding, and now it's huge in SoCal today. You know, you have groups like Decayed Brigade, Tormented Society who go out and slide. So I think that's what makes the event really unique, is they have a lot of people who are sliders there, which you don't see at very many events. I think you only see, on top of my head, Six Flags, Dark Harbor, Knott's Scary Farm, Castle Dark. I mean, and I haven't even been to Castle Dark, but I've seen footage of people sliding around and stuff. So that, and then I think what really, up until last year, made the event very unique for me was the hanging show. So
yeah.
I mean, every year you got to see what scumbag was going to get hung this year, and the parodies they would go through, all the shows and movies and all of pop culture was cool. But I don't know what's going to happen this year if they do decide to do the event with the show. So
yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. But you're absolutely right. I think more than anything too, like you said, like you mentioned earlier, for me it's the history. It's the fact that they kind of started this whole deal. I love that they're the originators of it, and they've been doing it for so long now. I mean, we're coming up on a 50th anniversary soon, which is nuts. And in fact, the second year that I went to Knott's Scary Farm was the 40th. I believe that's 2012 or 2013, one of those. So it's nice for me to have been able to see the evolution for like almost 10 years straight, right? Of where it's come, where it was and where it is now. And it's truly amazing. And for me, a lot of it too is the maze design. I love that a lot of it are original concepts, right? They've had a few IPs sprinkled in here in the past, but for the most part, it's all original concepts. And to me, that's really awesome. Which is why today I want to talk about the mazes. So we've got each our top 5 list. These are our top 5 mazes. We're going to explain them a little bit. And since you are our guest, Anthony, I want you to go first, bro. Why don't you hit us with number 5 on your top 5 list? Which this
Number
was, by the way,
5.
this was super hard to narrow down for me. I went down the list of like all the mazes dating back from when I started going in 2011. This was difficult, but I'm pretty confident that I'm satisfied with my top 5 right now.
I'll also add too, we have not seen each other's lists, so this will be fun.
That's true. Yeah, we're completely clueless to the list. So why don't you hit us with your number 5, Anthony?
All right. I don't think you're even ready for this one, man. This is a good one right here. Number 5, Forevermore.
Oh,
Edgar Allan
nice.
Poe.
Yeah.
So with this maze, I mean, being a fan of Edgar Allan Poe in high school, of course, when you learned it in an English class and all that, his work is just so dark and so good. Yeah. He was like the horror originator back in the day with poetry.
Yeah.
And when they decided at Knott's Scary Farm to bring his work to life, but kind of modernize it, I think that was an amazing concept. I mean, you had like a disco club.
Yeah.
You're walking down the streets of freaking like London and stuff like that. I mean, it's really just a trippy experience. And I hope one day they get to bring that one back or do a part 2 or something. Would it be really fun?
Yeah, that would be cool. And this year we're going to get a new maze in that spot, right? It was Forevermore, and then it became Infected.
Then Special Ops Infected took over. Now that's gone. And we're also supposed to be getting a new maze over there by Shadowlands as well.
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, dude, I loved Forevermore as well. One of the most iconic scenes for me was the one with the pendulum, right? With they had that guy chopped in half. That was pretty cool. Lots of amazing set work on that. And I think whoever they had narrating and telling the story the whole time, he kind of sounded like Anthony Hopkins to me a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't Anthony Hopkins.
Job.
He did a great job.
To life a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. And one of the rooms that I remember too was the room with the wooden floor, right? I forgot what it was based on. Maybe but with the red light under there and the beating heart, that was cool. That was really awesome.
Really dope.
Nice. All right, dude. So number 5 on my list, this one might be a surprise too, is Voodoo. Good old Voodoo.
That was all the way back there in Gypsy Camp.
Oh, yeah, man. Voodoo. I miss this maze. I think this was one of the first mazes that I really went through that blew me away. The fact that they had set pieces over water. Like they built half of that warehouse. They put above water. Then they actually built like, I guess, a pool or a reservoir or whatever you may call it.
Yeah.
Really, really highly detailed. I love the New Orleans theme. I love the fact that they had different little huts that you can walk into and different paths that you can take too, which the first year when it premiered, do you remember when they did that? They would split you up. You'd either have like the left path or the right path. I thought that was a cool thing to do for a maze. They hadn't really done that at Knott's, at least to my knowledge, up until that point. So I definitely miss Voodoo. And then the finale with all the swamp trees, that looked beautiful.
Dog, you can't forget the Bad Boys Easter egg they had in there.
The what?
Not the Bad Boys, the Cops Easter egg.
Oh, what? Oh, that's right. Yeah, playing on the TV in one of those rooms.
Yeah, you just hear the Bad Boys theme song, and I'm just like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and that was one of the first years, too, that I think they really implemented the Horror Nights-like scares, right, where there's like a trigger. Oh, dang.
My monitor be falling down, man. That's cool. We good. We're getting through this quarantine.
It's all good, man. It's tough right now. You know how it is.
Yep.
But yeah, so Voodoo is number 5 on my list. I miss it, and I think it was definitely very different. Different kinds of scares and lots of cool water effects. And plus they had gators in the water, which was always fun too. And the facade looked incredible too. It was a huge facade. It was massive. And I love the fact
for the last year or two they changed it like to where you walk in for the depths now.
Yeah.
You did the maze backwards going out.
Right.
It was kind of weird.
It was very strange. Yeah. But yeah, that was fun, dude. All right, hit us with number 4 on your list, Anthony. What's number 4 on your list?
Number 4 goes to none other than Dark Ride.
Oh,
Cheesy Beautifulness.
Dude, no way. Dark Ride, number 4.
Number 4. Cheesy Beautifulness. That's what I titled that one right there. I don't know, man. I love the concept of having to walk in an abandoned carnival ride.
Yes.
And in the very beginning, in the first part, like the first two parts of the room, it's all just cheesy carnival special effects that
Yes.
are just like malfunctioning, but at the same time they're trying their best to work. And then of course you eventually go off to the past where it's like supposed to be behind the scenes, and then you find out there's something more darker and sinister going on at this dark ride.
Yeah.
And as you progress more and more through the ride, you start to unveil more of what's happening, who took this over, and what's going on until you eventually go into clown hell.
Clown hell.
So it's really cool when you hit that room, because if as a scare actor, if you are working in there, it's your freaking own jungle gym, man. You got slides, you got places to jump around, you got different spots to hide at.
Yes.
I mean, it's really cool, and I really like the way it looks. And then this year they added the security room and the gift shop at the end, which was really cool. In the security room, they had buttons you can press and they would trigger stuff, which was really cool. Memorable moment I had this last year is when I pressed one of the buttons, there was someone else hiding under that desk where the security thing is, and he went out after I pressed the buttons. He just started tapping the buttons real fast.
Nice.
I was laughing. Yeah, but I mean, I think too at the gift shop, like a lot of people didn't expect that, so a lot of people actually thought it was a gift shop, but then there was like one final scare right there, so that was really cool too.
Yeah, man, I love how detailed the maze is too. Like that's all Knott's mazes. They're all like wall to wall decor, right? But the one detail that I love the most about Dark Ride is that when you look down, when you're in the Dark Ride portions, you can see the track for the ride.
Yeah.
Come on, that's like such a cool detail. It's so awesome. I love that. Yeah, it really emulates kind of like the old school carnival dark rides. Even some of the Disney dark rides, right? I love that they use.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love that they use a lot of like the wooden cutouts, like they use like in Pinocchio or Snow White or Mr. Toad's, any of those old dark rides from Disneyland. All right, Anthony, hit us with your number 3, brother.
All right, number 3, we're going down to the depths.
Ooh, yeah.
And I put Creature from the Black Lagoon ? Now the depths is something when they introduced it, I was so on board for.
Yes.
One, because I really like underwater scenes. I like underwater sea creatures. Like it's always been a fascination of mine to look at that kind of stuff. With the depths, I think they did a really good job of bringing that kind of cheesiness to life, but doing a really good detailed job on it.
Totally.
One of my favorite scenes in that is seeing the giant octopus, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And also going on the ship and then actually having the ship move, which is really cool.
Which is incredible. That blew me away. Like, and that always shocks me at how violently it moves too. Like that motherfucker will shake you to your core. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. And then seeing like the Davy Jones type character in there is just really cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome. But just leading up, and I think they have one of the best. It was the first time I ever saw this effect, and then they started incorporating it at like I saw at LA Haunted Hayride, they incorporated it really well and everything. And at Dark Harbor, I think they incorporated it really well as well. But the effect where they have, of course, the fog machine going and the green lasers going, and then they come out and it's supposed to be like an underwater effect. And then I saw it last year at LA Haunted Hayride when they did it on the hayride where it's supposed to be like a fishing scene, and it looks so amazing. Like I was losing my shit. But
it's such a simple effect, but it's so damn effective. It really looks like they're underwater, and plus the way that the fog moves really makes it look like there's a flow to the actual water, right?
Yeah.
And when you're walking through it, it's really unnerving because you really don't know where those fools are going to come out.
No, yeah, it's something, man. I mean, when I first saw that effect, I was like losing my shit. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, they need to do more of this.
Absolutely incredible. Well, that's an excellent number 3, dude. So my number 3 is actually Trick or Treat Lights Out.
I never got to go through this one.
Oh, no. Don't tell me that, dude.
But I've been through Trick or Treat, but I never got to go through Lights Out.
Here's the deal. When Trick or Treat was first released, that one kind of instantly became one of my favorites. It became like one of my top mazes. Again, the fact that you're exploring like a house, right? A haunted house.
Yeah.
Already, that's such a classic a maze theme or a maze trope.
I love the first year they did it, man. The first year was a classic.
Such great effects, right? Like, first of all, I wish they would have kept the staircase with all the jack-o'-lanterns on it as a photo op, because that was
Yeah.
beautiful. I want a house with a staircase just to do that.
Yeah.
Every Halloween, like, sorry, this staircase is off axis. It's jack-o'-lanterns only. Like,
How are we supposed to get upstairs? Climb.
climb, find a
There's
way.
a ladder in the backyard. Go through the window.
So yeah, that was freaking awesome. And then when you walk into, I guess the living room / library, whatever it is, the first scene with the fireplace, you got the books that are flying around. You've got the Ouija board that's moving by itself. You have the witch in the room by the fireplace that has smoke. Gorgeous opening scene. And then they took this already beautiful maze and they stepped it up about 5 notches by adding the flashlight technology the last 2 years of Trick or Treat. I thought that was absolutely incredible. I had never experienced anything like that in my life before. And again, to take an already gorgeous maze and make it that much more terrifying by only giving you about this much like light, and visibility, I thought that was really, really cool.
So,
and
what do you think of this? What if they took that technology and put it in paranormal?
Oh, dude, hell yeah! I've always said that that's the way to go. That's the way to send paranormal off, right? Like all the ghosts are still there, but maybe the Paranormal Inc. crew is now gone, and you're exploring Hayden Hill after the disaster. Yeah. That would be dope, dude. Let's honestly, that would be the best way to send off Paranormal Inc. is to make it even that more terrifying with just the flashlight technology.
Definitely.
Yeah, dude. So overall, 10 out of 10 for me for Lights Out. That was incredible, man. All right, we're coming down to our final 2 on the list. Give us number 2 on your top 5 list.
I wrote a thing for it.
Oh,
However,
okay.
I got a better visual for it, and that's this one right here.
Special Ops. Rest in peace, Special Ops.
That was a better visual than what I wrote. I mean, it was basically the same thing, but if you couldn't read that, there it is right there. Headshots only, man.
Yes. Tell us about it, brother. What can I say
about this maze, man? I mean, I didn't get to experience it the first year, which I really wish I did, because it was all in Camp Snoopy.
Yeah.
However, the remaining years I got to visit it and experience it, I was blown away. Such a great maze, such a well-detailed maze. I mean, you get a gun, you get to shoot zombies. Not to mention, I mean, we've met a lot of cool people who've actually worked in that maze and told us some funny stories of behind the scenes in that maze.
Oh, man.
Special Ops, you will be missed, and I hope that they do bring back that technology eventually.
I agree. I'm still with you 100%, dude, that they should move that technology over to Dark Entities.
Entities,
yeah, that's the one to do it in.
I've killed zombies. Now let me kill some aliens.
Yeah, man.
I've been training all my life. I've watched every Alien movie, every Predator movie, every Alien versus Predator movie.
Yeah, dude. It was truly, that one also was very groundbreaking to me, just because I had never been to a haunt event where they give you a rifle and they're like, all right, there's the zombies, have at it.
Yep.
And the fact that like you could actually accrue points, and then as the event progressed, or as the maze progressed throughout the years, you would then get power ups, so your gun would have like, blast or shotgun or automatic, all that fun stuff. So yeah, dude, that's a good choice, and I'm gonna miss it. Infected, rest in peace, man. And funny enough, my number 2 is also zombie themed, but it is not infected. I'm talking about Virus Z, baby.
The OG zombie maze.
Yeah, dude. This was one of the first mazes I went through at the event, and it blew me away because the set decor was incredible. The journey that they take you on is truly incredible. You start at a liquor store, you go through a couple of houses, you end up at a high school. I mean, truly incredibly detailed. And this was pretty much at the height of zombie fever too. The Walking Dead was on TV, Left 4 Dead was out. We were all playing the zombie games. We were all about it. So to have the chance to actually live through that, quote unquote, by going through the maze, I thought was really incredible. That
Zombieland was a huge movie by then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we all had the zombie fever, man.
Yeah.
And so it was cool to be able to live through that maze, right, through that story. Again, highly detailed, really great performances by all the zombies in there. And yeah, the only thing that it was missing was the light guns.
There you go,
so we can go in there and shoot them up. But yeah, dude, the Virus Z will always stand the test of time. That one's going to have a special place in my heart for sure. And now we've reached the end of our list. Our number 1 maze Anthony, why don't you start with
Why
yours,
do I have
brother?
a feeling we're probably gonna have the same number one?
I think we may. I think we may. Go ahead and hit it with us, dude. Hit us with it.
You know, she put a curse on all of Calico.
Uh-oh.
It deserved to be hung, but she got away, and we got to learn the origins.
Oh,
curse
man.
of Calico. So, what can I say about Origins, man? I mean, I knew from the start when they announced this maze, I was like, that's a great concept. I'm all on board.
Yeah.
For them to give the witch finally an origin story as to how she became who she was, why she did what she did, and just walking through that maze and seeing it from the start of the trial all the way to the very end of the curse, which is really cool.
Yeah.
We actually, I think, in a couple of weeks on our podcast, are going to have the lady who actually was one of the witches flying around at the end of Origins.
Ooh.
So we're excited to actually talk with her about that and just Origins in general. But I don't know, man. The sets were beautifully detailed, and especially walking through that one set where it's raining.
Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous.
It was just amazing. And then, of course, all the Easter eggs they had of just past properties, all the scare zones were represented in there.
Yes.
The bride, a lot of big characters had, Easter eggs and cameos in that and that maze. It was basically like a giant horror Marvel movie, just looking for all the Easter eggs and stuff,
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
And then what was really cool is after the maze you got out, you got to go into Calico and expand that story even more. And then if you watch the hanging, you got to even expand it even more, which actually right there is where it kind of came to the end. And I think Origins Curse of Calico really kind of set that bar for like what's to come for Not Scary Farm next.
Yeah, it's a very, very high bar, let me tell you. Yeah. Yeah, lots of great use of effects, visual effects, screens, a little Pepper's ghost in there with the bride, how she comes out of the coffin. That was really cool. And yeah, I love the fact that the maze kind of started out in Boot Hill Cemetery even. The fact that they had characters out there roaming about, the fact that they had the I guess one of the lawmen up talking by the noose, right? Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And funny enough, we don't share the same number one, Anthony. But it's by
it's Origins like that, man.
Well, okay, you'll see why. This is
like after Haunt season where that actually won like the best maze of 2019, even though I wanted Killer Clowns to win.
We don't share the same number one choice, but we do share the same designer for our number one because my number one is Paranormal Inc., baby. 2015, Paranormal Inc. really set the bar high for mazes to come after it, right? It was truly, truly a game changer. I loved the story. It was a failing ghost hunting show, so they wanted to kind of, spark the energy in there with this ghost pod, and then all hell literally breaks loose. Honestly, this maze for me is gorgeous, and I'm so worried.
Forrest for that one for freaking turning up the
damn you, Forrest. Why?
You let ghost out like that, man?
Damn it, Barry. Come on, man. Yeah, honestly, that maze to me is number one in my heart, and I think it always will be. And I'm really scared that it's kind of coming to the end of its streak here. I think this will be its sixth year coming back, and that's kind of the longest that a lot of the mazes have been part of Not Scary Farm. So it may be coming to an end, and I don't want to see it go. Amazing effects. I love all the stunt work in it. Some of the most memorable stunts are obviously the very first one that you see in the main room for the pre-show that flies over you. That's a cool stunt. And then one of my favorites is inside of I guess the ghost pod room, or the ghost pod went off. That one stunt that they do where they kind of switch off, where it's a demon and a Paranormal Inc. crew member. Yeah. But if it does go this year, it's lived a long, healthy life, and it's given me a lot of years of screams and good times. And plus the new ending that they have, I think it premiered 2 years ago. The new ending
where
with
kind of like a Twilight Zone kind of thing.
Yes.
Where you go to it goes from freaking. It was freaking demented and abandoned to let's go back to the 50s. I'm like, what?
Yes, it gives me super Shining vibes, right? It reminds me of The Shining every time. Super eerie with the nurse in there, and then with the walls that change. really awesome. And yeah, again, I don't want it to go away ever, but I know it has to at some point.
I get like one set piece in there.
Right? Yeah. Let me keep the big monster. Yeah.
Let me take the I'll take the ghost capture thing.
There you go.
That.
And well, Anthony, there you have it. Those are our top 5 mazes each. Thank you for coming on the show, brother, and giving us your top 5.
For having me. I enjoy talking knots. Let's pray to Jesus Christ himself that freaking haunt season happens this year, because if it doesn't, Anthony's gonna be a little depressed.
Yeah, dude. I think a lot of us will be if haunt gets canceled. But until then, dude, where can people find you?
The Nights of Horror on Instagram and Nights of Horror on Twitter. Of course, our YouTube page, The Nights of Horror. And yeah, man, we're almost to 1,000, so that's gonna be fun.
Ooh, that's exciting, dude. Congrats. That's really awesome. So you heard it here, guys. The Nights of Horror on YouTube. Give them a subscribe so that you can hit that 1,000 mark. It's gonna be really awesome. And then you can find us on Instagram and Twitter as well at the Hauntline. We give updates as often as we can for all the things that are happening. And until the next time, Anthony, dude, thanks for joining us once again. And
no problem. Subscribe to the Hauntline.
And subscribe to the Nights of Horror.